Welcome, foolish mortals, to episode 23 of Disney Fiasco. I am your ghost host, Disney Dad. Welcome back into the channel and welcome to another episode of Disney Fiasco. I have some very special guests who are ready to materialize tonight. This is going to be a really fun stream because, as you could probably tell with all these really haunted puns, we are going to be talking about the Haunted Mansion tonight. One of my favorite rides, and I brought round some Disney Haunted Mansion experts. So let's go around the table and talk to some of these ghost hosts. First off, she's back. It's so good to have you back. It's Megan from Mickey's Magic. It's good to have you back on the show.
Thanks so much, Dan. As you could tell from my outfit, I'm very excited about this stream. I love the Haunted Mansion, and I'm so happy to have Walt here too.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Walt, from last week. Thank you so much for stopping by once again. I had to bring you back on for a Haunted Mansion episode. It's something that I was really excited for, and you bought the t-shirt as well. So welcome back, Walt from Mouse Talk. It's good to see you.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Megan. It's a pleasure to be here as usual. It's always an honor when you invite us on. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. Got a lot to talk about, and definitely my favorite ride. So I appreciate you including me.
I feel like I'm kind of a bit underdressed because, well, you've got the t-shirt. Actually, I was going to wear that t-shirt, so I'm so glad that I didn't. Otherwise, we would be matching, and it would be just, it would be bad. But Megan, you've gone full out Haunted Mansion, and I love it.
I had to. I just, first of all, purple is my favorite color, and second of all, the Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride. So I just, how can I not go all out?
Awesome. Who have we got in the chat? We have Noah. We have Cargo619. How is it going, Cargo? Cargo, thank goodness you are live because I cannot make food without my pickle friend. I love the fact that every time now, we talk, it's always involving pickles. I mean, yep. It's just all those memories. Lisa Mev TA, I believe that's Lisa M. I'm going with. Hey, Lisa. And look who has joined us. Welcome.
Hey,
our Disney Adventures. How are you?
Hi, guys. Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Sounds great.
It sounds good to me. Yes. I love the ears. I love everything.
Walt, how are you, Walt? Hi, Meg. Hi, Dan.
Hi.
How's it going? It's good to have you've definitely materialized right at the right time before we started the show. So thank you so much. So we have Megan from Mickey's Magic here with us. We have Marisol from Our Disney Adventures, and we have Walt from Mouse Talk. We got Belle Southern in the chat. Hello, my Alabama friend. Kay Atwood, welcome. Wendy is here as well. Lisa Mev TV, I changed name because it was Lisa M. I knew it was you. So yeah, guys, we're going to be talking about the Haunted Mansion today. Something we are really looking forward, that I've been desperately talking about for such a long time, but because it's October and because it's Halloween, it's now the time to talk about my favorite attraction, and I've brought some Haunted Mansion experts with me to talk about our favorite ride, the Haunted Mansion. We have the Kingdom Times here. AJ is here, and Donna is here. Hey, Donna, it's so good to see you. So good to see you. Right, okay, so make sure, guys, before we get started, to hit that like button, drop us a link, subscribe, share, everything. You know what to do. And let's get started. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to talk first about the history of the Haunted Mansion, our favorite things about the Haunted Mansion, and just talk about, why we love it so much. So let's start off with that. Let's start off with the Haunted Mansion and why it is our favorites. Hey, Disney World Adventures, how's it going? So let's start with Megan, then we'll go to Marisol, and then we'll go to Walt. Why do you love the Haunted Mansion so much?
Oh, well, I think it starts sort of with the history and that prolonged, that prolonged building period where it was just a facade for so long in Disneyland. And to be honest, I really like the facade of Disneyland's Haunted Mansion better than ours at Walt Disney World. That's a completely different story. And I love that it is it's half of the ride is very dark, ominous, and then you have the amazing Imagineers at Disney that turned it into this really comical, just this entertaining story about this haunted mansion and how these ghosts want to come out and socialize with us. And there's just something so charming about it, especially when you go into like the graveyard scene at the very end and grim grinning ghosts. And I could literally talk about the haunted mansion every day because I love the haunted mansion so much. But it's just that, like, it's that Disney magic that they bring to the ride. It's the song that gets stuck in your head. It's the cue. It's everything leading up to the haunted mansion. So like I said, I could talk about it, forever, but those are some of the reasons why I love it.
And at least now we have time to really break down the Haunted Mansion and talk about our favorite ride, talk about the queue, talk about the ride vehicles, talk about everything. So it's the generalization of the Haunted Mansion that you love, which is fantastic. Hey, Isaac Nail, what is up? All right, Marisol, what about you? Is your whole family a fan of the Haunted Mansion, or is it something special just for your heart as well?
It was originally just for my heart, because when we first started going, the girls were pretty young. But as they got older, now it's a full family thing. The boys, we try to make it fun for them since they're little. And then sometimes, Juan thinks we need to cover their eyes because they get scared. But they love the song. They love the song. And I like Meg. And Meg, I love your makeup. You look great. I love the whole, you look amazing all the time, though.
Thank you.
The entrance, the queue is so cool. The way you can sit and those graveyards are popping out at you. I can't remember the one at Disneyland. I don't know if I've ever been to it. I only went to Disneyland one time over 22 years ago, so I can't remember it. But the Disney World one, I love it so much. And my favorite thing is during these Halloween parties when they come out and sit in the front and they say those funny jokes, and it's just so much more. It's just so much more. I wish it was like that all year long. Yeah. But the hardest thing was for us was just explaining to the kids. They would say, what happened to her husband? Oh, well, she killed him. And what happened to that husband? Well, she killed him too. That will always stick in my head about how comical it was to get us over that hump over explaining the whole ride to the girls. And then the kids' favorite part now is the way the ghosts jump on your head or they get in the cart with you at the end of the ride. So I love that. I love the whole ride. It's always been
awesome. And we'll talk about the special events as well, and why the Haunted Mansion is so good with special events later on as well. Walt, what personal connection do you have to Haunted Mansion?
Well, I do actually have a personal connection. Goes all the way back to the first time we ever went to Disney World was in 1998. It was the first time we ever went. So it's been literally 20 years ago. And I can remember the first time I ever rode the ride. It was Melissa, myself, and our oldest son, Walter, who at the time was 2. And we were getting on the ride, and I was like, I didn't know anything about it yet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if he's going to be able to handle this. Well, he fell asleep in the middle of the ride. But we loved it. We just thought it was fantastic, and we got off, and we went right back on. And it's just, ever since then, there's just that connection of the ride that we thought it was going to be so scary because, it's the Haunted Mansion. And I think Meg hit it right on the nose. Is there's a perfect balance with this ride in that there is a sense of foreboding, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be scary. And yet there's that balance of fun, playfulness at the end in the graveyard. And then, with the scene in the ballroom, there's just such a great balance there. And the ride is so unique. There's just nothing else like it. It's one of a kind. It really is. And it's, often imitated but never duplicated. That's how I say it.
Yeah, I think I totally agree. And I think when people talk about the Haunted Mansion, saying that it's their favorite attraction, I think you nailed it around the head by saying it is so unique. No one has been able to replicate an attraction like this. It is so interactive and so different to anything else that you could find anywhere in the world. That's not under Disney property. And you're right. That's why people think it's their favorite attraction. Like you guys found out yesterday when we did my top favorite Disney attractions, Haunted Mansion was my #1 because it is so unique. It is, when you think of classic Disney dark ride, Haunted Mansion is always a contender for that. Maybe you might say Pirates or you might say Small World, but Haunted Mansion is always in that. But I love that. My experience with, hey, official to Quincy, what is up? My experience with the Haunted Mansion, as a child, I hated rides just generally. I hated rides. I hated dark rides, roller coasters, water rides, hated everything. And I remember walking through Magic Kingdom, and I heard that little eerie note in the middle of Liberty Square, right near Memento Mori, and I would run. I'd be like, I'm out of here. I'm gone. I'm no way. No way. I'm not getting on a ride that's going to make me scare and just, yeah, it's not happening. And then I believe I was, I've got to be around 15, 16 years old. And I'm like, you know what? I'm 15, 16 years old. There are these kids who are like 6 and 7 who are going on this ride and they're coming out just fine. So I went on it, and ever since then, I have loved it ever since. It is a beautiful attraction right from the beginning, right till you get off that attraction. Everything about it is just so incredible in terms of theming and just the storytelling. And I think that's what we're going to talk about today. But let's talk about its history. If I told you guys that it wasn't even meant to be a ride in the first place and it was meant to be a walk-through attraction, what would you guys think about that? Let's go in the same order. What would you guys think?
Well, I'm one of those crazy Disney fans that I think it was Fresh Baked that did, you know, that whole history of the Haunted Mansion. And so I just love watching that video, and I've watched it several times. So I really do love the history of the Haunted Mansion. But I think the creation and the invention of the Omnimover changed the ride so much that like we are able to like really experience what the mansion is like. And I feel like it really plays into the story, the Omnimover. So I could never ever imagine it being a walk through attraction. I think being on the Omnimover is something that makes it really fun. I love those things. And I don't know, I could never imagine it as a walk through attraction. I don't know about everyone else.
What do you think, Marisol? A walk-through attraction of the Haunted Mansion rather than just a ride?
I actually think that is not a bad idea because there's been times when I just get on it right on again, but there's times when I'm like, oh wait, and I can't see what was happening, or I can't see the whole library, or I wanted to see that ghost come out again and I missed it. So I can see them wanting to do that, but I'm used to the way it is now, of course. So I love getting a chance to sit and relax because, you know, of all the walking, but I can kind of see that happening, and the way that it would walk through, I think it would have been still very popular. Mm-hmm. I think people would have loved it, but I know it would have gone a lot slower. I know I would have been slowing up the line, kind of like, oh wait, I want to take, you know, a picture here, or I know you can't take a lot of pictures, but I've cheated and put a light on and taken pictures before. So I would probably want to walk through pretty slow, but because I love the ride. But I can see it. I can see it happening. I don't want to go to it though, because again, I need rest on my feet while at Disney.
That is true. Everyone needs rest on their feet. Well, what do you think? Do you think that it could have been something that not just popular, but being just as nostalgic as what the ride would be now?
Well, I think it's a tough question, Dan, to be honest with you, because I think it would be successful as a walkthrough. I wouldn't have had a problem with it if it was a walkthrough, but I think it would have had to have been themed differently. It couldn't be the same ride as a walkthrough. You couldn't have the same scenes as a walkthrough, because those scenes are set up because it's an Omnimover and you just keep going. It would have to be something, I think, completely different in how they would have to theme it and imagine it. So I think there would have to be more jump scares to make it a little bit more interactive and things like that. And maybe that might hurt it. Then maybe it isn't as family friendly. So I don't know if now that I think about it, maybe it wouldn't work as a walkthrough. But I would still, I think, enjoy it for sure.
It's interesting because that's the thing. When they were creating the Haunted Mansion, they weren't sure exactly how this was going to work. There was two Imagineers who wanted one that wanted to be quite whimsical and comedic, and the other wanted it to be scary, wanted to be like a haunted house. So they decided just to put it together. So they were trying to debate how they were going to do this. The first thing that they came up was to revert back to a movie that came out right during World War II, which was The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Now, if you've ever seen this movie, it's one of my favorite Disney animated classics. That is perfect. It's perfect for Halloween. And it tells two stories, two adaptations of The Wind in the Willows with Mr. Toad and Sleepy Hollow with Ichabod Crane. Now, they were going to use this movie and create this walkthrough attraction based around these two stories, which is why you can see the statue of Mr. Toad at the end of the Haunted Mansion in the graveyard scene. And also why Sleepy Hollow Refreshments, we're bringing it onto food now, which is why Sleepy Hollow Refreshments is based around Sleepy Hollow and Ichabod Crane, and how the theming is slightly similar to the Haunted Mansion, you know, Liberty Square, or being a tight community. So I just want to ask you guys, have you seen The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad? I'm assuming some of you have. I want to know if everyone has seen it.
I have. I love it. I think it's great. It's
very creepy.
It is, but it's fun.
Yeah, I watched it, you know, when I was a little kid, and oh gosh, I don't think it was a good movie for me as a little kid. Nope. So I haven't seen it since. I was maybe a little bit scarred. I don't like scary movies.
Marisol, have you seen The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad?
I have not yet. And it probably would have been better for me, like Meg, to see it when I was a kid, because now I am afraid of scary things, and I can watch it, but then I have to like have a bathroom buddy at night and things like that. So I can.
It's a very sorry.
Can I watch it? Do you think I can handle it?
You can handle it.
Yeah, I think it's a very, in terms of Disney animated classics, it's very different to what you get today. Very different.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very, it's quite dark. It's got a very dark tone to both stories, but there's also a little bit of suspense. I wouldn't say it's scary, but there is that it will make your heart pump a little bit, but not anything that is going to jump scare you or anything like that. It was, you know, it was there it was there as a Halloween movie. It was Disney's Halloween movie back in the day, and I think it was something that they really tried to profit out of. But again, it really didn't make a lot of money, and you only get a couple of references throughout the parks. But we do have Mr. Toad's Wild Ride at Disneyland. We have Sleepy Hollow Refreshments, and we have some, you know, hidden messages and Easter eggs around the park. So it's still quite a well-loved movie. So I would definitely recommend it. And with the Haunted Mansion, they wanted to maybe, you know, use that movie as a walk-in. But then Bob Gurr, who's one of the greatest Imagineers of Disney history, who created the monorail and a lot of on-mover technology, he created the Dune buggies, and then decided to create a way for a ghost host, not me, to take you through the attraction. So let's move away from the history and talk about the ride vehicle himself. Let's move from the Omnimover to the Dune buggies. Now, for me, the Dune buggies are probably my favorite ride vehicle in the whole of Walt Disney World. Okay. What is it about? I just want to get your take. What is it about the Dune buggies that people love?
Well, first off, the name. The name alone already just puts it near the top of the list for me. I can't say it's my favorite ride vehicle. I think the Peter Pan ride vehicle probably
it's beautiful,
just a teeny tiny bit, but I love the Dune buggy. I just love the way it's made. It's really, really cool. It almost looks like a little bit like a coffin, and I think it's really cool. I love it.
I agree with you. Well, I think even the second you get into the Dune buggy and the ghost host says, "Do not pull down on the safety bar, please. I will lower it for you." And it's like, it's begun. And it's so magical. Magical, aka deathly. I just think like it's so clever the way that they named it. And gosh, the fact that it's black, the fact that it takes me around the Haunted Mansion, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I agree.
Marisol, is it one of your favorites or?
I do. I love it. And I'm going to have to go with just something it's the space. I have a lot of large people with me, and I like it when they don't smash me in the rides, and they don't have space in the Dune buggy. So, and I love the way too that it's black and it looks coffinish. It matches the ride so perfectly. And I like that. I like when everything ties into the theme. I love that Disney thought of everything. But the space is definitely a big plus for me.
I love the fact that the Dune buggies are so enclosed that, you know, when you go on these Disney attractions, you can often see, like on the Journey of the Little Mermaid, you can see into the other people's ride vehicles. But with the Haunted Mansion, it's so enclosed that you really can't see either side of you. The only really time you can see them is when you see the floating head of Madame Leota.
Yeah, in the attic. Yep.
So you won't. That's the only time really, and also because it's so dark, you really can't see them at all. I love the fact it's so enclosed, and I love the fact once you've gone through the stretching room, out of the darkness are these empty Dune buggies, and it's kind of like they're coming out of the darkness. You know, you can't really see anything until you actually see them and get onto them, and they also become a character in of themselves, as in they, you know, push down the safety bar. They're kind of moving around, wiggling and throughout the attraction. And it's so clever because it's all the great technology in that those Dune buggies are alive. They're not just taking you through the attraction. So, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Smooth ride. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. It's a smooth ride. I like that.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. I agree.
Very, very, very smooth ride, except for the time where it wiggles you.
Yeah.
And also, we'll talk about the attic scene as well, into the graveyard scene, how the Omnimover kind of dips back and you go all the way back.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that soon because that is a very key part of the ride. But let's move away now from the Dune buggies and move. We're gonna start from the start of the ride right to the end, and just go like we'll take like a tour of the Haunted Mansion.
I love it. I love it.
I will guide you guys through the mansion. So we're going to start off not inside the mansion. We're going to talk about just outside the gates of the Haunted Mansion. You are standing just before you enter. If you've got a fast pass or anything like that, there's that sense of loneliness that you have when you're standing there, because you see in the distance the whole of the rest of Liberty Square. And it feels like you're so far away from it, and you're kind of like all on your own and right up against this mansion. And there's something there that I found really, really intriguing that only one other ride does with its fast pass number. Do you guys know what that is?
No. You mean like when you scan your band?
So with the fast pass timings or the wait times, there's only one other ride that shows a specific number.
Oh, number 13.
13?
13,
yeah.
Which I find even before you get on the ride, before you walk through the gate, you're like, oh, that wait time is 13 minutes. That's a bit creepy. It's just bizarre. You might as well just put 666 on it. It gets that really deathly feel.
Let's hope it never gets that high.
Oh my gosh.
Probably not. But as soon as you enter through the gate, then from then on, you are in it. You are on your way to go and see all these ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
I want to touch upon two things. I want to touch upon the queue line, as well as the mystery at the start of the mansion queue line. And I know, Megan, you are the expert on this mystery. I would like you just to maybe just have a talk about this whole mystery murder mystery thing.
Yeah. Okay. So I actually, if you guys haven't seen it, I'm like totally and completely obsessed with it. I did the Marceline to Magic Kingdom tour. It was a gift from my brother for Christmas. And I picked this specifically because they go very in depth about the history of the Haunted Mansion, and you get to go behind the scenes in the dining room scene. And so I was like, yes, I need to do this. So this was the first time that I had heard of the like murder mystery game of the bus that are in the beginning of the queue. And a lot of people just walk right past it. You could tell that I'm getting like really excited because I'm talking fast. But like a lot of people just walk right past it. They don't pay attention, or like they take pictures with them because they think they're cool. And I have totally done that. So I don't know, if you take a second to read the little descriptions underneath the busts, then you get to see the little mystery that, you know, occurs. So the murder mystery, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but just to start it off, they have Uncle Jacob, who is that guy with the monocle. He looks really cool, especially since I have a video about it too. You can look that up. You start off with Uncle Jacob. He has a lot of money, and then people start killing people all over the place because they want that money. And you have to read the little clues underneath the busts, and they lead you to who killed who in that situation. Dan, do you want me to like tell you who do you want me to tell everyone who the person is, or?
I think they need to check out your video.
Got it. Yeah, okay. You guys check out that video. It's really cool. Like, obviously, I'm getting very excited about it. I actually think I went like I talked about it in one of my Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party videos just recently, because it was my boyfriend's first time at Disney, and obviously because the Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride, I had to take him through the queue and tell him all about it. So I think I went through it in that video too. So it's a more recent video as well.
And I think that murder mystery statue with the five busts is such a unique thing that really you don't really find in most other Disney attractions. It's an actual game that you can have in the ride queue, and I'm sure it's the same with you, but it drives me crazy that people just either just look at them and be like, okay, and then they walk past, or they just walk past without even noticing them, because they don't understand that these five busts, is exactly what the Haunted Mansion is meant to be. It's meant to be about death and gruesome and revenge, but also quite funny. And it's meant to be quite whimsical because it's all in rhymes, and it's all it's quite funny. It's the way it's written is quite funny. So I think it's something that people should definitely just stop and look and just really take it in and work out the story. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And guys, please go check out Megan's video. I'll actually link it in the description down below. Please check out the busts video. I would just like to go around with the rest of you and just talk about what is your favorite part of the ride queue. So the queue line leading up to the mansion itself. So we'll start with Marisol. What is your favorite thing about the ride queue?
The headstones are our favorite thing because we read them, and it's almost like every time we go around again and read them again, they're just as funny, or somebody will start busting out laughing like it's the first time they understood it. But they are just really, they're hilarious, and that's our favorite part. And I like the centerpiece in the middle that pops out and it's interactive. But to be very honest, guys, I have to push 5 kids in and out of rides.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Sometimes you just like want to grab them by either an ear or put a leash on them. So and sometimes I pretend to get lost and go do things on my own, but that always ends in chaos. But I love the headstones. They're funny. They're so hilarious. And I'm glad they put some humor into that.
Yeah, I bet managing your family through that ride queue while trying to watch all these headstones and reading them can be quite challenging.
Snacks or putting bubbles in the air so everyone's.
And then pressing all the musical instruments on the thing.
Love that. We do love that. Yes, I love that.
Well, what is your favorite part of the ride queue?
My favorite part is the part with the giant, I don't know if you want to call it tombstone or headstone, where you see the leg and the arm sticking out, and it splurts the water. Yeah. And I like that because a lot of people don't realize, like, there's this giant wet spot on the ground, but they still don't realize that that's because something's going to squirt water out at you. Yeah. It always seems to surprise kids or adults, and they get wet. And I just think that's really, really fun that it does that. And also, that's right over there where the ring is, and that's embedded in the ground.
Yeah, yeah. And we'll talk about the ring and how important the ring is. But that whole scene is meant to be like a water tank or something really huge for a sea captain, I believe. And he drowned or something inside, and he turned into a ghost. And now he haunts that area and squirts with kids. It's fantastic. It's really, really, really quite funny because the kids are just like, where's this water coming? I know it's Florida and it rains like 20 minutes a day in like 4 o'clock, but why this spot in particular and everything else is dry? I don't get it. And then it just squirts them with water and it's hysterical.
It is. It's funny.
I love it. My favorite part of the ride queue, apart from the theming, is one bust in particular. I think this bust is so overlooked, and it's the last bust on the left before you head into the Haunted Mansion itself. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, probably, but because you guys are big Haunted Mansion fans. But the face on the on this tombstone
moves,
sticks out, opens its eyes, and just moves its eyes side by side, and then goes like this.
Yeah,
and I think it is the most subtle animatronic I've ever seen. It's just crazy, and people just overlook it because there's no sound coming from it. You've really got to be paying attention because it's very subtle. But I really recommend you guys, if you're waiting for Haunted Mansion, because obviously there's 2 stretching rooms, but before you get into the stretching room, there's that little like area, the fireplace scene. So people have to be ushered into both those stretching rooms. So you could be waiting outside for a little bit. Just have a look around and look at that last tombstone with the face on it on the left before you go in and see this bust moving from side to side. And I love it. I love it. Awesome. I love the ride queue. It's very well. I love that they refurbished it a couple of years ago, adding all these great bits and bobs to it. Otherwise, it was just going to be quite plain before. But it really gives that theming back. So, yeah, it's awesome. So let's head into the fireplace / stretching room scene. Probably one of our favorites parts of the actual whole Haunted Mansion. It sets the tone beautifully. And I just want to first talk about the ghost host. When I think Haunted Mansion, I think welcome foolish mortals to the Haunted Mansion. That's how I opened my show today. I just feel like those words, very in particular, just grab the attention of every single mortal who's about to go through this mansion. And I think it's just, the writing is just on point. I love it. So I just want to go around, just maybe give your opinions on the stretching room scene and the voiceover and the fireplace scene. So let's start with Megan.
Oh, well, I have to say I'm a huge fan of the stretching room. I actually have a little tip for you guys. It's that, like, almost always, like, there's this little red dot next to Daisy De La Cruz, who is the tightrope walker, and that's usually the door that they let you out. So if you go over there, you like, get out first. So yeah. I'm always like trying to find my way out first so I can move on with my day. But I was the tightrope walker for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party a couple years ago. I did this. I wish I had it with me right now. My painting of one of the stretching portraits. I actually have 4 of those long canvases. I still only have 1 done, but I'm going to be doing all the rest of the portraits. And it's so ingenious to move you from one place to another. Because if you guys don't know, the Haunted Mansion is like on the basement level. Like, it's not on the ground level of whatever's going on. And so they have to move you down there somehow. And so they chose this ingenious way of moving us in the stretching room, really setting the tone of the ride. The ghost host does an amazing job. I feel like I could talk about this forever, like I said, with everything, but I don't want to take up too much time. But I love the stretching room. I love the little fireplace. I love the portraits, everything.
Awesome. Marisol?
I love the stretching room. It is an amazing beginning to the ride. To be very honest, when I first went on, I thought that was like half the ride. Like it was so awesome getting in there and going down. I thought we would be doing a lot more in there. But, you know, now that I understand it, and then it took me a while to be able to read all of the canvases, like you're saying, Meg. And now I think it's so cool. It's become such a phenomenon that people are having this room in their houses. I've seen them paint it the same color, add all of the facade, add the canvases. Like, people are adding this room in their homes, and I love it. I love that it's become it's become so popular, and I'm kind of like, it's about time. It's about time people, you know, catch up with this phenomenon, because it's really, really awesome. I love the fact that down in the basement we're down there, because, you know, we don't get to go down there otherwise. I know we don't see a whole bunch of it, and I didn't think that I would be able to stream from there, but Wishing Mouse Zoe was on us with us when I did stream there, and she said that we were one of the first streamers to last pretty much the entire ride through. I didn't know that you'd lose connection down there, so I just thought we'd give it a go. A few people said, no, don't go on there, you can't, but that stretching room survived, and that's part of why I love it.
And Walt?
Well, just like everybody else, I love the stretching room. There's nothing like it. Again, it's so unique. But what's also really neat about it is if you're new to the Haunted Mansion, you've never done this ride before, you get into the stretching room, first thing you're thinking about is well, where do I go from here? Where am I supposed to go? Where's the ride? And then you get in there and you realize that there's no door yet. And then as you look up at those paintings, you're like, oh, those are really cool, because you don't see the rest of the painting yet. And for someone who's brand new to the ride, as they start to stretch, it can become a little startling that they're actually in their, what's I guess going to be how they die, you know, ultimately in those photos. And it's really kind of startling, but creepy, but it's what makes it so cool. And I love it. Now, Meg, you had mentioned something about, and I don't know if it's in Disneyland or Disney World, but I think in Disney World, or is it Disneyland, you go down and the pictures stay there, and then it's opposite in Disneyland where the roof raises up. I'm not sure which one it's in or not, but I think they're both kind of different in that respect. Is that true? Did I read that right?
If I just interject here, I was literally just reading about this today, and so in Disneyland, the actual Disneyland Haunted Mansion is an elevator. Because they had the technology to move the guests down, because the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland is slightly bigger than the one in Walt Disney World, but they had limited space. Whereas Walt Disney World, there's a lot more space, which means there's a lot more that they can do, and they had the space underneath for the cast members to walk around, getting from different locations of the Haunted Mansion, that the roof elevates. So
okay.
The roof moves up in Walt Disney World, but the one in Disneyland moves down.
Gotcha.
The more you know.
I know. Magic. It's all an illusion.
It's true. It is. It's what makes it great.
So I think those are really, really great points. And I think the stretching room even gets better with something that I think is even enhances that, and that's the cast members. Mm-hmm. Now, I know people who are currently there as maids and as butlers, and I know friends who have been maids and butlers, and literally as soon as they, you know, get changed into their costume, they literally turn into a different character. Those cast members are probably the best non-actual characters, if that makes any sense. Like, they actually have their own persona compared to all the other. You know, if you go to Peter Pan's flight, they're just going to sprinkle a little bit of pixie dust, or it's a small world, they're just going to usher you onto the boat. These actual maids and butlers have an actual role, which I think is amazing. And Timothy Rainwater says, drag your dead bodies to the dead center of the room. I mean, how incredible is that the cast members are taking it so seriously, and they're literally giving you these really dark puns in the middle of this attraction. It just enhances the ride so perfectly well. And just the whole stretching room scene with the cast members and the ghost host, you know, you got some great lines. There are no windows and no doors. You got the scream coming from when everything goes dark and everyone else screams or they're crying. But I think it's just incredible. Now, I want to give you guys a top tip. This happened to me twice during my college program. If the Magic Kingdom is just about to close and the Haunted Mansion is pretty much empty, no one is there, there may be like a couple of people, ask the butler or the maid at the start of the attraction before the fireplace scene if you could have your own private stretch. Now, that will tell them that you would have your own private stretching room. Now they would take you off to one side. Now, if you guys didn't know, there are 2 stretching rooms. So you would just be placed into one stretching room all by yourself. It is terrifying, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
And then the others will be put into another one. And when you get out of the stretching room all by yourself, it will feel like the whole Haunted Mansion is to yourself. All the Dune buggies are completely blacked out. Obviously, no one is in them. You are sitting there going through the mansion by yourself. If you just ask right before the Magic Kingdom closes, if you could have your own private stretch, it is a recommendation unlike any. It's a completely different experience. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend doing that. 100%. It's amazing.
I will.
It's fantastic. Right. So we've talked about the fireplace. We've talked about the stretching room, and that kind of reminds us of the walk-in attraction that it could have been. Full circle. And now we finish the stretching room and we end up in this kind of corridor with lots of paintings along the wall. You're about to go on your Dune buggies and we start the attraction. Let's take the first half before the Madame Leota scene. What is something that you love about that half of the ride? Something, maybe it's a scene, maybe it's a specific part of the ride, it might be some sort of furniture or something, you know, an illusion. What is something that you really love before the Madame Leota head scene?
I know mine.
All right,
go ahead, Walt.
Go on, Walt. Go for it.
Okay. Mine is by far, it's actually my favorite scene in the whole ride. I don't know why. Nobody else ever agrees with me. I just think it's really creepy and really cool. Is the scene where you look down the corridor and you see the floating candelabra.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I just really love that scene. I just think it's really creepy. It's really cool. I always say, like, oh man, I want to walk down that. I want to walk down that aisle, you know, down that corridor. Which I know it's probably not that long, obviously, but I love it. I just think it's really cool and really creepy. It's my favorite scene.
7 is enough. Right from Dole with Dad. Has Dole with Dad sent guys over here? Well, welcome. 7 is enough. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Well, do you know what my favorite part about that little scene is? Is that on a really hot day, I get that nice breeze. I'm like, oh,
amazing.
Feels so good.
I do like that scene, Well, and also you don't actually see the ghost yet. All you see is the candlelight. It's just walking from backwards and forwards. It looks like a really long corridor. It right, we know there are ghosts here. There are 999 happy haunts here, and one is just shaking a candle. It's gonna start picking up, and I love it.
Yeah.
Who's going next?
I can go next.
Go for it.
There's so many things to pick from. I love the wallpaper. I'm so obsessed with the wallpaper.
Clearly by your ears.
Cargo made these. I have a purse that matches the wallpaper. I love when the ghost host says there are 999 happy hunts, but there's room for 1,000. Any volunteers? And then you see the little feet walking upside down up the stairs. I love the portraits while you're going towards Madame Leota, and there's no like people there. It's just like little skeleton people, and I love the clock that goes to 13. Like, I'm just gonna name everything, but seriously, I like the second half of the ride better, but I love everything.
We're getting to it. Hey, Dole with Dad, thank you so much for sending some of your guys over. I really, really do appreciate it, and happy Halloween. We're nearly there, nearly at Halloween. Marisol, what is your favorite scene from that first half of the Haunted Mansion?
From the first half, I really love the corridor. That's what I was telling you guys, that I'm always trying to look and get more of a little bit more time to peek that way. And so I just think that the way it flashes for just a second, and you have to really catch it, because if you weren't looking, you missed it. But I'm with Meg too. I could name 20 other things that I love about the first half of the ride. It is so amazing. But those corridors, I think that's where I would be the one holding up the line if it were a walkthrough ride.
Absolutely.
One more time. But yeah, and I told Dole Whip Dad that you'd be on live today and that we'd be here with you. So I asked him.
Oh, thank you so much. That's awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. Well, my favorite scene, I think, really goes towards something that you can see and that transfers to something that you can hear. And I love the ghost organ player, the piano player right at the start. And you don't actually see him, but you see his shadow, like pressing down on the keys. And it, gives those really subtle but strong emphasized notes. And that sound carries on right through to the pretty much the graveyard scene, and it's quite well themed because it's something that you see and then it carries on with you for the rest of the attraction pretty much, and it just sets that musical tone as well, and I love that. And it involves more stuff that you not only can see but also something you can hear. So let's talk about Madame Leota and the ballroom scene. We're going to break these up a little bit. So Madame Leota scene, if you don't know who Madame Leota is, she is the woman in the bull-headed fishbowl thing, with a lot of musical instruments hanging around the place and making lots and lots of noise. Now, she has the same voice as two Disney characters back in the day. Do we know who those two Disney characters are?
Good trivia question.
Silence from everyone.
I feel like I've definitely heard it, even maybe from you, Dan. I can't remember. So
Madame Leota, she has the same voice as Maleficent.
That's what it was.
Yeah, as well as Lady Tremaine from Cinderella. And when they were creating the Haunted Mansion, they were like, right, whose voice can we think of as who's got quite a sadistic, creepy voice, a very strong feminine voice, and they went with that. I can't remember her name, but because she had a great villainesque voice in those two movies, they decided to create her as the Madame Leota in the fishbowl. In the Haunted Mansion, and it's great. I think it's such a creative scene, and also I have jumped a couple of times with all those musical instruments, like serpents, spiders, tails of a rat fall, and the spirits wherever they're at, and then it's bang, bang with like the knocking, and it's great. But I want to focus the next couple of minutes on the ballroom scene because it's so unique. Let's just have a discussion of what is it about the ballroom scene that people just love?
So for me, I think it's part of it is like part of what I love about movies, animation, the theme parks, all the attractions is all the work that goes behind it and the creativity that they have when they create these, attractions, worlds, whatever it is. And the fact that they are able to like appear these little ghosts, I think it's amazing. The way that they set up that room. In my tour, I was able to actually go in that room and I saw all of the animatronics there, and it was just like I almost cried because I was so excited, and it was beautiful down there. It was so cool to experience it on that level. But I think that's when you sort of get that feeling that wow, the mansion is alive, and you see ghosts, and you like it's not even like the Madame Leota scene. The dining room scene is what brings me into my favorite part of the attraction, and it's so beautiful in there. And I once again feel like I could always talk about it. I'll let someone else go.
My favorite is Madame Leota. Sorry, Walter.
No, go ahead.
My favorite is Madame Leota. I love that line is just, it's that whole line. Call in the spirits wherever you're at. So I know you guys got that from the messenger I sent you guys earlier. I love it. It just makes it very eerie. And I kind of stiffen up a little. And I know, I've been on the ride multiple times, but it's the voice. So they definitely made a great decision on picking that voice. She does a great job. And even my little ones will stare at her head for the whole time. We're going in and out, and they're just looking at it. It's just very well animated. I love it, and I feel like it follows me the whole way through.
Fantastic. Love it. Walt?
Well, I love the ballroom or dining room scene. I think it's fantastic, and I think what makes it so, again, I'm going to use the word unique, is the fact of how you view it. You're viewing it from above. You're looking down on the dining room into this as you see all the ghosts having their party and dancing. I don't know that it would have the same effect if you were seeing it on the same level. Now, I know why you have to see it from above, but if you could see it from the same level, I don't know that it would have the same effect. I love the idea that you're above it looking down into the dining room. It's just so fantastic. And there are different stories of things that are happening in that dining room scene. I mean, the two guys above that are going to shoot each other, and then you got the one guy hanging, sitting up on the mantelpiece up there, and you got the people at the table blowing out the candles. You got there's just so many different scenes and so many different things happening. It's a great scene.
Yeah, and for sure, and also even just before that slight scene, from when you turn from the Madame Leota scene to the ballroom scene, the ghost host says, "And now the ghosts are ready to materialize." And this is the first time we're actually seeing ghosts in the Haunted Mansion, surprisingly enough. Yeah. It's taken that whole ride, the first half of that ride, you don't really see a ghost. It's only now you actually see these ghosts. And like you said, there's so many different things that's going on. You got the two guys taking a shot at each other. You got the organ player. You got the guys blowing out the candles. There's a hidden Mickey down there. And what I love is we're talking about how we can see it from above. Remember, we're on our way to the attic, and we're kind of like looking down upon it, like walking up some stairs. And there's a practical reason why we're seeing it from above is because of Pepper's ghost. And you've been down there, Megan, and actually I've been down there as well. And I think there's an experience that you can do. I think you have to be invited, that you can actually dine in the Haunted Mansion ballroom scene. And you can actually eat there.
Stop.
I mean, just like sign me up.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's okay.
Victorian Albert's ×3.
Actually, no.
But it is the whole illusion of Pepper's ghost and how they use that is fantastic. And I think the ballroom scene itself is just it's something that I just want the attraction to stop right there and just be like, right, just let me look at everything, because there's so much to look at the ballroom scene. So yeah, adding an item to my bucket list, as Dolphin Dad. Yep. I think a lot of people were doing that. Marisol, yes.
Did I mess up and say the wrong scene and say the wrong room with the head in the bowl?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
We're just talking about whatever we love, so.
From the ballroom, I love the dancing, and I love the blowing out the birthday candles.
Yeah, me too. And I love the fact that there is a hidden Mickey right there, and people just overlook it.
Yeah.
So
and there's the animatronics some of the same animatronics are in Pirates, so they use some of the same molds, and I think that's so funny.
Yeah, and Disney's actually had that way of recycling their animatronics throughout all of their parks, and I think it's great because it keeps that Disney-esque about it, and just like nothing is ever wasted there, and they're using these classic animatronics for everything. And we actually did a show, our top 10 Disney animatronics, quite a while ago. I'll put that in the link down below as well, so please check that out. Hey Laurie, welcome. How's it going? Happy Halloween. So we've finished with the ballroom scene, and we're heading up to what I think is probably one of the most important scenes in the whole of the Haunted Mansion, and that is the attic, where the bride is just killing off all these guys, and you see these portraits of her and her ex-husbands. But what I love about this whole room is that there's so much detail. Everything that you see in this room has a huge amount of detail that you can walk in that little loop right there with everything in it I could spend so much time there just seeing everything. I know somewhere on the right, as soon as you go in, there is a hidden Jack Skellington doll, which refers to the Jack Skellington overlay in Disneyland. So please see if you can check that out. It's quite hard to see because everything is so dark. but that scene is so it's really awesome. I love that scene. Now I've got to ask a question to all three of you. Did we fall out of the window of the attic, or did the bride push us out the window? Okay, that is the question. I want to ask Megan first. What do you think? And also tell me why you love the attic scene.
Okay, well, I feel like she probably pushed us, but let's be honest, we'll never know. So I have never found the Jack Skellington. Every time I go, I look. I need to find it. I just love how well it's themed, the attic scene. So you see all those pearls building up on her neck. So, you know, she's got a lot of husbands. And like you said, it is so incredibly detailed. And yeah, don't look at anyone who wants to, you know, input any information, their opinion. Go ahead in the chat. I love that scene too. Like, I love every scene. Come on, let's be honest.
I just love everything.
Yeah, I love everything.
We all. Right, was she pushed or did we fall out, Marisol? And also tell me why you love that scene.
She pushed us, Dan.
Yep.
She pushed us out. I love the scene. Just to be very honest, I avoided. I'm going to give just a little secret here. I did avoid for about a year or two the Haunted Mansion because I started to get a little spooked out, and it took the girls to be like, "Mom, it wasn't that scary," but that was one of the scenes that I just used to get a little bit shaken up at. I got past my fears, but I'm going to tell you what it was. As a kid, like Megan, I don't know how many times I did this to you, Meg, but I was forced to watch scary movies against my will. And it was either watch the scary movie or go to the back room where it's pitch black and you can't do anything about it.
Oh.
Yeah, so I would stay and I'd watch the movie and they'd make fun of me because I'd like be, you know, curled up in terror. But I love the Haunted Mansion. I love everything about it. And I still get on it, even though the little ones are small and I try to explain it. But that scene is a very favorite scene of mine. But she pushed us.
So, and Dolwit Dad agrees. He says she had to push us. We go directly to the graveyards. Yeah, we'll talk about that descent on the Dune buggies to the graveyard and how this link is important. Walt, what about the attic? And are you in agreement that she pushed us?
Well, I think she definitely pushed me. Melissa probably fell. But no, I do like that scene. What is really funny is for some reason, I don't remember, and maybe everyone here can tell me, was that always the scene that they had up in the attic, or wasn't there a scene before that?
I think there was a scene that was replaced by the attic scene, but I don't remember when it was because it was refurbished quite a while ago. But it feels like it's been there forever because it just flows so well. But I do believe there was something there beforehand.
Right.
But yeah, maybe we'll do like a rewind of old Disney attractions that have changed.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but no, I do like that scene. I think it's definitely creepy for sure, especially if you're a guy. You're thinking, oh Jesus, is my head next? But no, it's a fun scene, like you said. It's so detailed up there. There's so many different things that you could look at, and you could go through it 50 times, and you still wouldn't see everything. You'd find something new to look at, and it's definitely really, really cool, and it flows really well with the ride.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm in agreement. I do think that the bride did push us because, in terms of storytelling, when you get pushed out of the attic, you start leaning back in your Omni mover. And you're actually quite far back. You're leaning quite far back, and you're almost looking at the stars in the sky. That's because when you die, you're actually and you put in your grave that you're looking up, aren't you? So you are now. She killed you. She literally. That's it. You're dead, and that is why now when you go through the graveyard scene, that all the ghosts are so visible. They are not the Pepper's ghosts that you see in the ballroom scene. They are much more kind of ironic, real life. They're more, stable. I don't really know the term, but you can tell there's a difference between the ghosts in the ballroom scene and the ghosts in the graveyard. Exactly, Dan. That got to be the full right. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And I think just keeping with the progression of the story and how you are involved, that you have died and become a ghost, and actually you are now part of this ghost whimsical party. I think it's fantastic. So graveyard scene, we know now we are ghosts. Why is the graveyard scene iconic? Why, apart from maybe, actually you could talk about the song as well, but why is that scene so, you know, when you think of Haunted Mansion, you think of the graveyard scene?
Oh, geez. Because it's a party.
Yeah.
It is. It's almost like they're having a party. And, of course, as you start into it, you see the guy with his dog, which they used to have in the Halloween parade back in the day, you know, with the bloodhound. And I really like that. But it's almost like they're having a party down in the graveyard. And it's a lot of fun. I think it's a great scene. I love the guy that's been... they kind of didn't board him up, but bricked him up, and he's got just his hand out, and he's trying to put the last brick in, I think.
Yeah. Just to quickly divert, Helen McKenzie is here, and guys, if you don't know Helen, my good friend Helen, we did our college program together, and she is out working in the UK Pavilion not right now, but she works in the UK Pavilion. She's like one of my closest friends, Disney friends, and she's absolutely awesome. So guys, if you're ever in Disney, and I know Johns, you are there a lot, so please go show Helen, say hi to Helen and say that Disney Dan sends you. I just got off work. I'm so jealous. I need to come see you. But yeah, Helen is working out in Epcot at the UK Pavilion. So if you're in the area, please go say hi from me. But yeah, I love that. Well, I think, yeah, you're right. And just everything about it is a massive party. It's just a really, it really goes now towards that whimsical side of the Haunted Mansion. It was very dark and spooky before, and now it is that comedy fun. So come pop in. I'm the Historical Research Centre at the UK Pavilion. Everybody jot that down. All right. Graveyard scene. Let's go with Marisol. What is your favorite? Why is the graveyard scene so iconic to you?
I do have to go with the song. I love the song, and when I first heard it at the Halloween fireworks, it just gave me chills. But that song, anytime, anywhere, you can say grim grinning ghost in my family, and everyone will start singing.
Yeah. Right
at once. And I love that, because for us, music is a big thing. And the song is what really finalizes it, and we can do it whenever we're at, and it just brings you right back to that scene, and you're right in it.
And also the song, I feel, has become so iconic for Disney fans. And the song, you know, it was my ringtone. It still is my ringtone, and it's become just so much bigger than what it is. When you watch Hallow Wishes, like it's epic. It is just incredible. Hallow Wishes is nothing without the grim grinning ghost part of that. Oh, okay. But yeah, it's just, that song is so iconic and one of the greatest Disney theme park songs. And we talked about that 2 weeks ago, on our soundtrack, Disney Fiasco. But yeah, it's iconic. It is iconic. The song itself. Megan, you're going to say everything, but let's go with the specifics.
I think if I have to pick, like you said, Dan, it is so whimsical. But the one thing that always makes me laugh very much is the Imagineers put that fat lady singing at the end. It's like, okay, the ride's over, get out. Like, that lady has sung, the ride is over. I love how they put that in there. Like you said, we talked about our favorite Disney attraction songs, or any, like, basically any songs, just not, you know, in like movies or whatever.
Yeah.
And of course, Grim Grinning Ghost had to be on my list, and that song gets stuck in my head. I love that it never ever has a like particular start or end point, so it's just this loop.
Yep.
And I love that song. Love it, love it, love it.
Awesome. And guys, I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up. If you're ever riding in the same Dune buggy as me, I guarantee we're going to stop in front of a pop-up ghost and they're going to shock you every single time because I always get stuck when there is a pop-up ghost who jumps and scares you. So don't ever ride with me. Awesome. I love that graveyard scene as well. It's just, it just sums up the ride. It sums up the dark, but also the comedic factor of it all. And it's just, it's a really, really great time. Let's just talk about that last scene, the three hitchhiking ghosts, as well as the little Leota, as well as leaving the attraction. But this is going to be just our final wrap up of the Haunted Mansion as well. So if you just want to talk about maybe those last couple of like bits, the exit, and then just give me like a reason, you know, why is the Haunted Mansion now a legendary attraction? So who wants to start off?
Ladies first.
I can go first.
You want me to go first? Or Marisol?
Anyone.
Go ahead, Marisol.
Everyone will be hurrying back. Let's kick off with that. Let's start with the hurry back. Why is that just creepy in of itself?
Because it's creepy.
Yeah.
So creepy.
Because it just is.
And I think that just with the hitchhiking ghosts, with those three ghosts that try and invade your little Dune buggy, you know, you're so enclosed by the Dune buggy, and now wait, you got three ghosts in with you, as well as two other people side by side. It's like you now feel really claustrophobic because now there's like 6 people in your Dune buggy. It's crazy. But I think the hitchhiking ghost is fantastic. It's a great piece of animatronic technology. And then moving around that little dark corridor and seeing that little statue of little Leota who's saying, hurry back, don't forget to bring your death certificate. It's so eerie and dark. And it will always be that, like, it still has that dark tone. Despite having all this whimsical stuff, you still have that little bit of creepiness, that little bit of dark part of it all. And I love that. And I think if the Haunted Mansion ever burnt down, that's the first thing I'm grabbing.
Yeah, me too.
So what do we think about those two scenes in the exit? Let's go with Megan.
So going back to my murder mystery game, there is a portrait of someone. So right as you're coming out of the graveyard, you see the hitchhiking ghosts, the 3 of them, Phineas, Ezra, and Gus. And you see them standing there in the left-hand corner. You see someone holding a match in a portrait. And I love that Easter egg there. Then once you're going to see the hitchhiking ghost, I love that they have them, like, they'll pop off your head and switch them, or, you know, they'll sit right in between you. It's so clever and it's so much fun. I always have such a good laugh at that. But then you get hurry back. The one thing I really want to do is see the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay of, you know, the Haunted Mansion, and that's where Sally is. She's, you know, Constance there, so yeah, can't wait to see that one day.
Awesome. Marisol?
I love the balance at the end of the creepiness and the fun, because while I'm getting creeped out by hurry back, don't forget to bring the death certificate, I'm laughing at the ghosts jumping in and out and all the funny things they're doing. So they're usually pretty comical, more comical than scary. So I like that balance where at the end I've been a little freaked out, but now I get to leave laughing. And so I like that.
Awesome. And Walt?
Well, for me, I love the hitchhiking ghosts. To me, they are the mascot. They are the logo. They are what embodies Haunted Mansion. They are on everything that is merchandise pretty much for Haunted Mansion. When you see the hitchhiking ghosts, it's synonymous with the Haunted Mansion. They are what make it so great as well. I love that scene. I just think it's so fun. It's them hitching a ride. And the other little scene there where they kind of, you know, switch heads or they ride with you as you're going out, that hasn't really been around for too long. I mean, they never used to have that. They added that on, and it was such a great addition that it just made it fun at the end of the ride there. I love that they do that, and it's just fantastic. I love the whole ride. I mean, there's nothing about it I don't like.
And And I just want to say, like, out of everybody, you guys are the biggest Haunted Mansion fans that I know, and it's something that we are also passionate about. And I think another time we can maybe talk about the Hatbox Ghost as well as the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay in Disneyland, because these are some things that could change the Haunted Mansion or adapt it and make it even better. And but I just love how it is at the moment. It is my favorite attraction, a lot of our favorite attractions, and it's something that we have to do every single time we go to Disney. So I just want to say thank you guys for dropping in to this stream. I hope you guys really, really enjoyed episode 23 of Disney Fiasco, a very special Disney Fiasco for all of us, talking about the Haunted Mansion. We've gone a little bit over, but I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who's stopped by today. And join the conversation in the chat. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you everybody who's subscribed. And please go check out firstly my partner channels, Mickey's Magic, Megan, who is here right now. She's absolutely awesome. She's doing her Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween vlogs, which are awesome, and I love it. And is there anything else you want to plug for your channel, Megan?
I have to say, next week I will not be here because I will be, Wednesday, October 31st. I will be here next week, but not the following week. So I'm going to Walt Disney World on October 31st. I have never been to Disney on Halloween, so I will be videoing, vlogging. I'm going to try and live stream. Can't wait to see everyone and meet up with people. Arjan's and now Donna's coming. I'm so excited. And Lori and Bill's Odds and Ends, they're gonna be there too. And sorry, I'm getting like really excited, but I can't wait to see everyone and go to Walt Disney World. Yay.
Yeah, well, I hope you have an amazing trip. But you'll be back here next week. But we are so excited that you're going to be there for Halloween and seeing everybody, and it's gonna be so much fun. Please check out my other partner channel, Corey Fiasco, who unfortunately couldn't make it in this week. He is actually in Walt Disney World as we talk right now. He is there right now. So please go check out Corey Fiasco. He is an absolutely awesome partner channel and just a really great friend. Just really, really awesome. So check him out. And I just want to thank my two very special guests who have done double duty 2 weeks in a row. Thank you so much. First off, Walt from Mouse Talk. Walt and Melissa have a really great channel called Mouse Talk. They are over 1,000 subscribers strong, and they are just so awesome with everything that they do, and their Disney knowledge is fantastic. You guys just came back from Walt Disney World, so please go check out Mouse Talk. Walt, is there anything you would like to plug? I know you're on the live place like this show.
Yes, absolutely. I do a Tuesday live stream that just started last week. It's called Mouse Madness, and we dive into everything from Disney to Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, you name it, we go into it. We have a good time with it. And of course, on Thursdays, Melissa and I do our Disney Talk Thursdays, which are really fun. And then we post videos from time to time with all kinds of different things, the top 10s, 3 for Thursdays, dining reviews, all kinds of different fun stuff. So it's been amazing. But thank you for having me on.
I'm there for dining reviews any day. But thank you so much, Walt, for coming on. And our Disney Adventures, Marisol, I know you're very busy with the whole family and the kids, but thank you so much for stopping by. You guys are just so awesome. Guys, let's get our Disney Adventures to, because you're nearly at 1,000 subscribers.
5.
You're 5 away? Right, everybody in the chat who is here right now who have not subscribed to our Disney Adventures, let's get our Disney Adventures to 1,000 subscribers right now. They are 5 away, and I know there are 5 people here who can do that. So please go check out our Disney Adventures. If you could put, actually, you're already in the chat anyway, so click on our Disney Adventures and subscribe to the channel because they are so awesome. And I've been subscribed to them since you had something like 19 subscribers. Your family is absolutely amazing. So fun to walk around the live streams with it at Disney. And I'm so happy I've been there every single step of the way. And yeah, you guys are absolutely awesome. Is there anything you'd like to plug? Have you got an upcoming trip?
Well, we actually would have been there right with you, Meg. We were supposed to be there October 28th and be there through November 6th, I think, or the 4th. I had to cancel. My birthday is October 26th. My family wants to see me for my birthday. I'm putting together a birthday video, guys. I know this is totally shameless or shameful. Send me birthday wishes on a video so that I can put you in my birthday video. But I really wanted to go. I'm having some real Disney blues over. I'm supposed to be packing. I'm supposed to be planning. I'm supposed to be leaving. We're not. And so that got me a little bit down. I just know that I have 18-year-old twin brothers, so we do have a crazy family. And I wanted to spend Halloween with them, and they can't come. So maybe next year I can get the whole brood up there. But I know, Dan, that we are talking about end of August. And Dan, you are one of the cornerstones of our Disney adventures because you've been with us from the beginning. If we put a picture up of 5 people, one of your pictures will be, you will be one of the 5. And so we just want to tell you thank you for all that you've done for us. Thank you for bringing us on. We love it. We have so much fun on these. I know it's been twice for us, but we just look forward to it already. So, hey, anytime you need us, you let us know. We have so much fun coming on with Ohana. You guys are such amazing people. And so thanks for helping us get over the 1K. We hope to reach it. And yeah, we are a pretty crazy family.
You need to check it right now. How many subscribers are you on right now? I think we might have done it.
We need an update.
Let's see what the update says.
Guys, can we please do it? Let's get them to 1K
I did
right
it,
now.
guys, we did it.
Yay!
Live on Disney Fiasco 23 1K, guys. Thank you.
Congratulations. I couldn't be any prouder of you guys.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you, everybody in the chat. You guys are absolutely awesome. You've subscribed to a great channel. But that's join the 1000 club. And now it's me and Megan on the way.
I'm not there yet.
You'll get there.
But congratulations, guys. You thoroughly deserve it. Both you and Mouse Talk both really deserve the 1000 subscribers. So congratulations. It's great to finish on such a high. And yeah, and fantastic. Right, I'm just going to plug a little bit for me. Thank you to the Live Place, Dean from Dreamers Empire. Please go check out him and the website liveplace.com for all your family-friendly live streams, mostly Disney-related, such as Resort TV 1, Spokesman Mouse Talk, Megan from Mickey's Magic. All of us do our awesome live streams, so you guys get your Disney entertainment. Please check out my channel. We've got so many videos coming out really soon. We've got the 10-shot Beverly Challenge coming soon with Corey Meets World. That's going to be fun. Festival of the Lion King vlog coming tomorrow, hopefully, as well as some other great vlogs coming soon. Next week is going to be a very interesting Disney fiasco. It might be a little short because there is going to be an announcement coming this week, a very big announcement from a very big YouTuber, which I'm not going to spoil. So, which I'm involved with. So hopefully this all goes to work, but we'll keep you updated because next week is going to be a very fun week. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well as YouTube at Disney Dan, of course, as well as everybody else here. I'll leave all the description box down below. And I just want to say, guys, thank you for dropping in. We've had not a delightful, a dreary, deadly time here tonight. I just want to say happy Halloween. Next week will be another Halloween special where we're going to talk about our favorite Disney Halloween movies, which is going to be really fun. And you guys have got to hurry back. Thank you guys so much for wanting? Thank you guys so much for watching. Live your life with a smile, guys, each and every day. And I'll see you guys real soon. Good night, everybody.
Hurry back.
Hurry back.